All right, y'all. So we're back with some more 10th anniversary discussion here. And I want to talk about the new leader skill meta. So, again, as we know from the 10th anniversary, there was actually a power creep increase with the stats given on leader skills. Now, I feel like there would be some sort of increase on leader skills. I was hoping it'd be something more unique, like adding, let's say, critical hit or something to leader skills, just some extra ability. But it seems like they just decided to increase the stats, which at the end of the day is okay too. I think that it does potentially make things more fresh and make certain, like, I think stages and using some older characters more fun, at least, probably until we get like the really hard stages. I do want y'all to note that we might see some really difficult fights later on during this anniversary. It might not be as comparable to year 7, because the thing about now is that these characters that we've been getting are just so much more well designed, and we have a much more higher abundance of, like, especially like team protector abilities, I would call them, right? But beyond that, we have super Vigino. Either way, how these new leader skills work, getting back on topic here, is we have 200% HP, 170% attack and defense to these 3 categories in this example. I assume it could also be just 2 categories, but then you get 50% HP attack and defense for characters who belong to other certain categories, right? So if a character would fit either of these 3 teams or these 2, just like a normal 200% leader skill, you would get a total of 250% HP and 220% attack and defense. Now, I wonder what they might do about this. If we go ahead and take a look at some of these very old category cards, we could see, not even, well, even Go Tanks, right? We could see that, actually, okay, this, well, yeah, we could see that there used to be split leader skills as well. HP attack and defense, HP attack 170%, defense 130%. On a lot of these very old category leaders, that is how it worked. I think we can get Fat Boo here. He's another example right here where defense 130%. I think Ultimate Gohan, an example, was HP 130%. Yeah, HP 130%, attack and defense 170%, right? The thing about this is I wonder if it's going to be a split leader skill that way, where we get a category and leader in the future who gives 200% attack and then 170% to HP and defense, and that way it's like 250% attack leader skill. Like, is that possible? I feel like it might not be. And the reason why I feel like potentially it might not be the case is we do have the carnival leader skills, right, which did go from a flat 200% to 220%. I think the only thing I could say is, like, the issue with that is if other stats get to 50% with leader skills on, the Dokkan Fest, I don't know, carnival leader skills at least were, like, they had value, I think more value to them. Even though, at the end of the day, yes, it is just one leader skill still that you can meet it, but at least they're the same percentage that the Dokkan Fest leader skills were. And now it seems like that might not be the case anymore. At least the Dokkan Fest leader skills are just going to be way better, which they always were, but stat wise, right? That's the only thing I'm like, about this new kind of design for the leader skills. But, especially if we get a category that's not so good, like this one, right? The Giant A Power 220%. At least they're giving 4 key though, which is really cool. It would also be really interesting if they're like, yeah, this is just for this anniversary right now, and then normal T Wars get still 200% leader skills, right? I would assume that's not the case, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, that's kind of my general thoughts on this, and I know that a lot of people have different ideas on how they feel about this, so that's why I did, basically ask for you guys' response on Twitter, just a community response here. We're gonna see how the general feeling of this, leader skill update is, and if people are liking it or disliking it. Let's hop right into the quotes. What if Dokkan added a Yuri category with Kale and Khalifa who kiss on their active skill? That'd be peak. They suck. They should be 300% instead. No. Good HP increase to a new 20% stat increase is fine. Yeah, I like, honestly, if I would prefer they keep it like this. HP is a really important stat, I think, because it's like there's no passive skills that increase the amount of HP you have. We have healing, but actually increasing the HP we have is really fun. And actually later today I'm gonna have a video about like you could actually hit 1,000,000 HP now on teams with this guy as your leader. So I'm actually gonna have a video about that later today, and we're gonna run a team with like basically 1,000,000 HP, which is really fun. I think it could potentially be pretty good actually. The carnival should lead 2 categories is what, yeah. I think that's fair. I think at this point, carnivals leading 2 categories should just be a thing. I don't see why not. Especially because this guy's leading like 3, right? And, you know, I mean, look at the wide range of characters you're going to fit in this leader skill. We could literally bring up this Dokkan, if I'll say, because there's actually a 200% leader skill tool here. If we take a look here, or it doesn't actually... Well, does it show up the... I don't know if it shows the new character's leader skill is all the way back there. It doesn't. Battle Protect Super Saiyan Goku. Yeah, no, it does. Okay, never mind. Yeah. I mean, look at the amount of characters on this team. Even if Shun's the monsters on there, because of the Patara category, right? There's look at how many characters fit this. Just 200%. I mean, well, I'll say I don't want to like I would just say 220% just because like yes, I know that HP is 250%, but the attacking defense 220%. I think it just lines up. The 220% meta is probably what I'm gonna be calling this. But yeah. Extreme class 220% lead, yeah. I mean, who could be the first extreme class 220% lead that we see? I mean, what characters are waiting for EZAs? I mean, let me literally bring up Misaka. Like her, what's it called? Actual EZA list that, you know, she does go ahead and do like the EZA updates, stuff like that. Like, what character is waiting like if that's extreme class? Maybe a Frieza card, a GT bosses card, maybe. Like again, we have some GT bosses like stuff coming up with 17 here. Garlic Jr. would actually be unironically a good pick. Just another movie bosses leader, but this time it's 220%. I wouldn't mind that actually, like a Garlic Jr. Dokkan Fest. Like that was my predictions where I'm like, I think Garlic Jr. could be the Dokkan Fest, you know, a Dokkan Fest this year. Maybe he could be the Dokkan Fest after this celebration, and then we get Goku and Piccolo's EZA right here. I think that could be cool. Yeah, that could work. That could work. It'll be interesting to see how things are like taken from here. But let's see. Are there any replies about this? Like that's ever gonna happen now? I feel like, yeah. I mean, at the very least, Worldwide usually does introduce like LRs. Well, technically, even like Tanabata, usually there's like a villain in part 2 or the antagonist in part 2. So maybe Tanabata is like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and then a baby to 20%. It could be Dokkan Fest baby, could also be a thing. For Queen Vegeta should have 2 leaders, yeah, I agree. Only 220% feels reasonable. So I assume you don't like the HP. 250%. I'm not sure that HP is that big of a deal. Yeah, you don't like that carnival leads are now lower total percentage than DFEs. Other than that, it's fine. You don't care too much since 200% leads got introduced. Forms of straight 200%, 170 plus 30 kind of got lost. These buffs are nice, but it feels like going with the flow rather than a big step. Yeah, because I think the reason why is because this is only a 20% increase with the 200% leader skills. We got, it wasn't even just a... Like, so, okay, let me go, because with the 200% leader skills, it wasn't even just necessarily a 30% increase for a lot of characters, but actually I should go with the GP timeline just because that's the one I'm more used to, because the thing about these 200% leader skills is, again, like I said, these old category leaders used to be split, right, with their leader skills and how they buffed characters. Like, let's take a look here at the tech androids, right? Well, actually, okay, they're an example where it's full 170%. For smaller niche categories, they're sometimes where they're full 170%, like some, like a lot of these leader skills had split like buffs, like I said. So with that other stat that was usually not 170% just went full to 200%, I think, at a consistent rate, and that was a much bigger jump compared to now where we already had flat 200% leader skills for a lot of characters, And for the most part, like the attack and defense is being increased to what's it called? The 220%, I think, in general. Again, we do have the greater HP stat, but I think when it's like visually seeing like these attack stats and stuff like that, it's not going to be as big of an increase, right? That's my personal opinion. But yeah, 1 HP is a reality. These bosses are going to be hitting like nothing we've seen before. Yeah, I mean, I expect the power creep. I think the power creep this year might be a little more than last year. There's the only thing, and this is from pre like new content, and even then we've seen a lot of this new content have a lot of HP already. So like I'm sure you guys have understood, like these newer stages are really good for showcases because they just have so much HP for most of these characters. But then like the new characters just demolish these bosses, right? So there you go. From a gameplay perspective, it feels unnecessary. Should just make stats higher. HP should have been the only one that rose. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the stats, like, I guess they're not that big of a jump, so maybe that's why you're like, oh, the HP should have been the only one that rose. DBS LR Wrathful Broly, save us to the 250 stats to uncontrollable power. Hey, that'd be cool. A Wrathful Broly, Dokkan Fest Broly. That would be really good. You want to see 200% easy A leader skills. First, if they're just a bit worse, but are real leads and you're fine with it. Yeah, well, the 200% like easy A characters have this type of leader skill. They could. Well, I don't know actually, because we've seen like 170% leads. They never got 200% leader skills. They just got 180% leader skills, right? So I would assume not. Maybe they just increased the stats to like. It could just be only 220%, right? What if they increase the main categories to like 190%, right? And then the subcategories still keep 30%, so it's a total of 220%, which would not be the most insane thing, honestly. I think that'd be okay. Hopefully they'll give a lot of buffs to Super Saiyan 4. Excited for the first extreme unit before we knew. A little bit of me was inside hoping that since the first 3 were super in the part 2, units would be through extreme. Yeah, I mean, just in general, anniversary, like, I don't expect like extreme class units for anniversary most of the time. And when we do get extreme class units, it's Broly, right? Who's basically saying Rose, Goku Black. And then we had Broly Trio, which was Big Bad Bosses, but like we did get Baby 2. But like with the Dokkan Carnival format, I'm not sure anymore. I guess this would have been the anniversary to put in like an extreme class character or Kid Goku or something, right? But it's fine. Can you let's get hard events first? I guess this is fair, right? You know, with the hard events. I just want to see the general feeling, because when the hard events come out, we'll be talking more so about how the hard events feel rather than the leader skills, right? I think that's like a whole other discussion, right? The hard events will be what makes us feel about the game, I think, more so than like how these like general feeling of the leader skill increase feels. Does that make sense? I guess, you know, it will like impact like your thought on it, but I feel like that's still just a separate discussion, right? It sounds bad because it further pushes you harder not running units without 50%. 80-40. I guess that's, you know, that's one thing you could say, where it's like you are missing out on way more stats now by not meeting the 200% compared to back then where it was only 30% you're missing out on, right? That's a fair argument where it makes you feel less likely to build teams a certain way, but you still get the extra HP boost at least. G2 bosses leader 170% type leads in addition to these types of leader skills. So like STR types would get 170%. Increasing cost allows us to be at low health, more making HP conditions less of an annoyance. That was weird to read. The extra 20% stats boost is also great because it's enough to make a difference. Yeah, you know, I've seen, I literally saw a clip earlier. Like this leader skill boost is funny because it could help a lot of characters look a little silly. Look at this. This is Tech UI Goku here. This is Goku Freeze above 50% HP. Keep that in mind. But this is Tekiwai Goku just like, yeah, I'm actually just gonna live this pre-super just cause I want to. Bam. I mean, it wasn't like he almost died, but like this is because of the 220% leader skill boost, because Vegeta is preventing all the extra HP and stats, and then Goku is just, you know, still doing his thing. Yeah, so I don't know, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm just reading through these. A lot of these are very similar, so I might just skip over the next few. The prioritize 250% HP buff on the HP new cards team builds that maximize health, while still preventing an overall buff. That's not a huge power creep. Yeah. You hated the later half of the 200% meta because they had way more category coverage, but it was asked to remember all the different categories. It was like 2 per unit. Now it's 5 of 6. Yeah, it is 5 or 6, I assume. There's a lot of categories to fit now. This means the year 7 LREZs will most likely increase to will be 50% increase instead of 30. Oh, they can do that too. Yeah, where the 170% stays the same, but then the 30% turns 50%, huh? Yeah, I wanted on this again. I think they should have added attributes rather than stats. And by attributes, I assume they mean like, you know, just like stuff that you would see in passive skills more so, rather than stuff that you would see in a leader skill, which are only stats like, you know, like I said, maybe crit, maybe dodge, maybe, you know, some other form of like even damage reduction or something could be interesting. But that's really it. Just the general feeling of the people on Twitter, I think. And when the 200% leader skills came out on the 7th anniversary, there's actually some people who were unhappy about it. Most people, I think, were fine with it for the most part. But I think, you know, at that point, people had gotten used to like the 170%. I personally was happy to get a new boost. 3 years after 200% getting another boost, maybe you could argue is a little bit early compared to previous. But at the same time, it is 10th anniversary, so I'm not really surprised. Maybe like 15th anniversary will be the next time we see another boost. Who knows? But saying 15th anniversary is crazy. Let me know what y'all think. I'm ending the video here. I'll catch you next time.